All right, so what we're doing now is pretty much counting how many of the railings we need to get. So each one of these marks right here, pretty much where the railings were before they broke, right there. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Se ve como 12 o 13. It's the guy that we're working with that's getting us right, getting us on game. What we're gonna do is we need 13 of these railings, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 18 of them, just so that it could be more sturdy. That way, if something were to ever fall on it again, it'll have a stronger support, a stronger base, so it won't collapse as easy as it did this time. So 18 going that way. At the parts, we got most of the parts that we needed, most if not everything that we needed. We got the railings, we got the silicone, we got the extra railing, and then we also got the screws, the bolts, the nuts, everything that we needed. We're waiting online now so we can get all of our parts and get to it, see if we can finish that shit by today. Currently on top of the truck, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is that we got to do. Take off the old screws, the old bolts from the roof to add the new ones. So this is what came off. This is supposed to be up here, and these bolts obviously are supposed to go through here. All right, so it came off all through there. So what we got to do is we got to get the old bolts, old screws off, to then put this back up here and make new screw holes, because those obviously broke. This was the damage. So we're going to be turning a $3,000 job into an $800 job just off of us doing the labor by ourselves. So now we got about 4 guys inside. We got about 3 or 4 guys inside, pretty much working together to lift all of this up at the same time evenly, so that it can distribute what we need to cover over here. As you can see, teamwork definitely makes the dream work. Teammate! Now I'm up here just watching. No, I'm just playing. Let me put this camera down. So the new railings are going in. We ended up pushing the roof up to even it out, so that we can rebolt, rescrew at the top. Alright, so now that y'all got a little look of the inside, how we're putting the railings in, I'm going to show you guys the top, how it's looking, how the progress is looking. So the roof is now, I guess you can say, somewhat starting to get even, especially on this front side. Before it was super caved in. So the main goal is to have all of this lined up how it is right here, with the railings from the inside pushing it up, evening it out. All we need is this roof to sit on top of this rail, so that we can make some new holes right here to bolt it in. And then after you make the holes to bolt it in, you get your silicone, right? Your super duty silicone, and you just go crazy with the silicone all over the railing, on the outside, on top of the bolts, screws, whatever you want to call it, and then you'll be good money. It's really one of the lessons I want you guys to learn, especially if you're brand new into entrepreneurship, especially if you're brand new into the trucking game. Build connections that are worth $1 million, right? If your goal is to make 6 figures in 1 year, build connections that are worth 6 figures, right? So that, you know, if you have trouble in one business, you have connections that can help you out and that can save you labor costs, just how this is saving me labor costs. Because I'm gonna be honest, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, that would have hurt. That shit would have hurt. Even though, you know, that's light work, but still, you know what I'm saying? We want to keep the profits as high as we can, and we want to keep the out-of-pocket costs, the labor costs as low as we can. So learn that lesson. If your goal is to make 6 figures this year, before you make 6 figures, build 6-figure connections. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be in the business that you're in or whether it be in other businesses. But I'm gonna keep showing you guys the progress. We're about 80-something% done with this project. All we gotta do after we get the last pieces of railing in is get to re-screwing and siliconing. So let's get it. So now we pretty much got all the railings lined up. Except for that part, we're still working on that part. Back to where we wanted it. We got decent size to go, and we almost done. Other than that, it looks amazing. Alright, y'all, so after that last video that you guys saw, I ended up putting down the camera and pretty much just helping the guys finish the job since we were at it all day. Now, the part that I didn't record is us changing out the latches right here on the door. We didn't do every single one of them because not every single one of them needed to be changed. Now, not only did we change out some of these latches, but this spring right here that assists the door in sliding up and sliding down, we actually ended up tightening that. So what that does is that helps the door go up and down smoother. So you get rid of that little inconvenience of having to struggle to get the door open and get the door closed. All right, y'all, so this right here is the finished product of all the railings that we put in. We only had one that kind of shifted a little bit, but in reality, that's not a problem. The majority of them are where they need to be. For all the extra support, you know, as you guys can see. But like I said, not only did we change out some of these latches that were super messed up, as you guys can see, some of these are still kind of rusty, but they work, they still do the job. You know, they're not in need of being changed. Not only did we change out those latches, but we also changed out the wheels. A lot of them were pretty messed up and some of them were wiggling and everything, so it just made it a little bit harder for my guys to open and close the door. Not only did we change out the latches and the wheels, but we also lubed up, or excuse me, we also greased up where the wheels slide. And of course, this is the spring that we ended up tightening. I'm not gonna lie, if you're not careful tightening this spring, you know, in that little hole, you have to put something in and kind of, you know, force it whichever way you want it. You can accidentally release that spring at a very high tension and hurt yourself. So all in all, I'm very happy with the job that got done. I'm not gonna lie, it did take a very long time. Fortunately, my downtime was only 2 days. So the first day when we found out about the incident, you know, we started scrambling, trying to find a mechanic to help us do the job. We ended up deciding that we didn't want to go the mechanic route because they were trying to charge us anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000. And that was just something that we didn't want to do. So we scrambled and looked for truck part shop. We ended up finding what we needed, and that first day we got to work, but it was raining and everything, so we didn't really get too much done. But the second day, as soon as the sun came up, we were at it all day, literally into the nighttime, and it was definitely worth it. I'm not gonna lie, we got the job done. I'm happy with what we did. This one's kind of bothering me since it did slide over, but I'm really happy with the result. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump in the truck really quick and I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of, you know, what the parts consisted of and what the parts total came out to show you guys the difference of what it would have been if we would have went to a mechanic and what we were able to do, just, you know, me, a driver, and a couple of his friends helping us out and do all of this. Now, I know this video is getting posted a whole month later, so don't kill me for that one, but I have been super busy with CDL stuff. You know, CDL school, been super hands-on with the truck, so I've actually been driving a lot, so that's why this video got updated super late. It ended up coming out amazing. The roof is not collapsed anymore. I'm actually gonna throw up the drone right now so you guys can get a little aerial shot. So now it's time for me to explain the breakdown of how much we spent and kind of my thought process on why we wanted to do it ourselves and not go through a mechanic. So for us going to a mechanic, the mechanic was trying to tell us that we needed to change the whole roof. Like, they were trying to convince us to go from fiberglass roof to an aluminum roof, which of course is much more sturdy, much more, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, during the daytime with an aluminum roof, of course, no light can get through there. So, you know, we were gonna have to add light. And that was just something that honestly I didn't feel like. So the next thing was labor. Now, I don't know exactly how much they were charging me for labor and exactly how much they were charging me for the roof, but I know labor is not gonna be cheap for that job. Spent a day and a half fixing that whole roof, and that was just using the same roof, which is having new materials. So already labor costs plus the materials was gonna be through the roof. So we ended up scrambling and finding some part shops, and fortunately we found what we needed. That bag that you guys saw in the last video is full of nuts, bolts, latches, and wheels for the door. Ended up coming out to $750. I did have to buy a couple things when we were already there fixing the latches and the screws, which roughly everything came out to an extra like $50. So all in all, material wise, we were in $800. Now that was really all the money that we invested into parts, materials, you know, all that. Now labor, we did that ourselves. Me and one of my drivers, some of his close friends that are kind of handy trucking wise, they came out and they helped. So really there was no labor cost. So like I said in the last video, we turned a $2,500, $3,000 job into a $800 job just by doing it ourselves and being resourceful. Like I tell you guys all the time, make sure you get acquainted. Make sure you build 6 figures worth of connections, because you never know when somebody's gonna come in handy. Now, like always, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video, because I might or might not have another truck that I'm gonna be buying, and I'm actually very excited to walk you guys through that whole process, right? So till next time, I love you guys. Let's go.